Thank you so much. Okay, bye. Okay. Vader Games here, Vader Games TV, another episode. You know what? We got CIA in the building. Yes, I'm scratching my head, stressing like Pep. We got to do this. First things first, my peoples come first. My people, those that are here, those that are no longer here, thought of and always remembered. Okay. Wow, this episode. This episode is going to involve a lot. A lot's going to get covered. Let me just let everyone know in the building. Thank you so very much. If you're new, subscribe. If you've been here before, please hit that like button. I'm still adjusting my whole setup. My microphone's actually, sorry for that noise. My microphone's actually really high. I need to move that. But we got CIA Intelligent Agendas. And as you can see, as I had to title it, and even when you clicked on the thumbnail or you checked everything out, this is a fight. I titled this show, obviously it's the newest CIA, but this worst run of form. And I'm asking the question. I'm legit asking the question because of a lot of things that I'm seeing online. And when I say online, whether it's TikTok, whether it's Instagram, whether it's Twitter, X, YouTube, and in the comments especially, I'm seeing a lot. And I had to ask the question, who will fight? Who will fight for the club? And when I say who will fight for the club, obviously us as fans, we're looking to see who's going to fight player-wise, who's going to look to improve, who's going to step up, who's going to look to change the fortune of what's happening at the club, who's going to try to, right the wrongs, get this losing skid out the way. But as much as I say that, as much as I ask the question, which players are going to be stepping up, what kind of tactics and instructions is Pep going to put out there? What are the assistant coaches going to do as well? But I honestly, I'm learning so much right now. If you're not following me on Twitter X, please go do so. I had to post it, and you know what? Let me try and quote myself properly here as well. Where is this? Let me try and quote myself properly. But listen, respect. I'm gonna get to the comments because I always like to shout out the very first to show love within the comments. But I had to post this. Our worst run of form with our manager, players, and fans is revealing a lot. Form is inconsistent. Form is temporary. But class is permanent. And it's easy. It's easy to be chill. It's easy to be like confident. It's easy to rep. It's easy to rep. Wear those colors. Wear that badge when things are good. Things are promising. Winning position. Top of the league. Challenging. It's another thing. And I didn't think that it would be like this. And it's like this on the 12th of December. I'm seeing during the difficult times who's got the stomach, who's got the guts, who's got the balls, who's got the ovaries. Is that appropriate? Can I say that? But who's got it to actually deal with these difficult times? Who's got it to actually continue to represent, not tear down, not I told you so, not always thought that this was going to happen. Like, where's the word? We're in it real bad right now. Where are the fixes? Where are the, you know what, seeing better form from them? They're capable of doing it. I'm getting really tired. And again, if coming to the show, coming to my channel in particular, if you're looking for that fan that is cussing, that fan that sees doom and everything, you're at the wrong channel. You're tuning into the wrong show. because I want to have the conversation, not only pointing out what the errors are, not only pointing out what the poor form is, not only pointing out what wasn't right, because that's the conversation we do have on this channel, but also, well, where's the solution? Where's the improvement? I don't do well with everything's bad. I don't at all. It's not how I move. It's not how I live. And it's not gonna be my channel. It's not gonna be the conversation. I'm gonna get to the comments, I promise. Thank you. Please hit that like button. Continue to shout that out, and I'm gonna shout you out. The very first person today to be on CIA Intelligent Agendas. I'm not counting. I haven't been counting the episodes. The only episodes I pretty much count are Why Always Me, and Why Always Me will be back. We'll be back. Doing a few things behind the scenes. If you haven't noticed yet from previous shows, microphones been adjusted here. Hopefully the levels are good, volume's good, sound quality's good. Hope you're enjoying that. The reason for my voice is because I've been yelling, not just at Manchester City, but I've been yelling because there was a basketball tournament for my daughter just yesterday, 2 games, screaming my head off. So that's the reason for the voice right now. Let me get to the comments. The person that was like, yo, Vader, today, this episode, I'm here for you, man. We gonna have the convo. And I'm here to show the support. I'm here to show the love. You do that by the comments, you do that by the likes, you do that by the subscriptions, the subs. Appreciate all of it. Let me shout out the very first in the building. And this week, my man, Danny in the building. Yo, Vader, what up? Shout out to Danny. Representing well. Representing well. Appreciate you. My head is gone after yesterday. I'm with you. Watching that game was incredibly frustrating. And it was, but I'll be honest with you. The frustrating part wasn't because we didn't show complete dominance, which you would kind of expect, but when you look at who and how we were playing, who we had available, how we were playing, I was like, you know what? I'm not terribly upset. I hate the goals we gave up. I absolutely hate the goals we gave up. But at the same time, if I'm looking at like the possession we had, the dangerous positions we had, the frustrating part where I get you, head being gone, is like, why weren't we shooting? Like, spam the shots. Make the keeper have to make saves. Make the defense have to be like, am I going to block this? Am I trying to move out of the way? Like, that's what I want to see a lot more from our players. But it's also not like, in my opinion, I'm seeing some overreactions in terms of not one player showed fight in that game. Not one player were playing for the away fans, playing for the result. That is where I got to kind of fall back a little bit. Zane in the building. He goes, how's it going, Bader? Listen, I'll be honest with you, Zane. It's not going well. It's not going well right now. We're going into the holiday season. A lot of holiday planning going on right now. It's got me all over the place. I'm trying to find some positives with what I'm seeing from the club and the players. But then I get drawn in. Zane, I don't know how it was for you. I don't know if you can reflect on some of the difficult times of your club and how your fans maybe went toxic, maybe went like real negative. And I'm seeing it and I'm not liking it. I love this community, ops and not, right? My Blues, ops, we have the conversation. But the wave, the trending wave to then cut down every player, cut down what the board have not done over the few transfer windows. Take the shots at Pep as well. I'm just like, what is going on? Are these City fans that I'm hearing? Are these City posts that I'm reading? Like, what's going on? The girl RK, hey, it's peak. It is. The girl RK, I don't. It's rough out here. And it's rough out here, like, It's rough out here seeing how some people, some fans can't survive it, can't deal with it. That's the rough part. That's where you're like, when you kind of look, whether you get in a tough spot. I'm not going to talk like I'm going to keep. Let me keep it. Football. You know how like you're in a game, it's really scrappy. Someone goes in for a hard tackle, or it's some elbows. It's a really physical game, and then you look to step to deal with the challenge. You're like, we're gonna battle through this. We're gonna persevere. Or that challenge was a little too close. I'm stepping to you, and then you look who's with you. You're looking to see who's got your back. These difficult times, I'm seeing. I'm seeing what I thought would be people having the clubs back, having the players back, being like talking worse than rivals. It's wild. Girl arcade. It's wild out here. But get him as players and he'll cook. Listen, we're going to talk about all that. We're going to talk about all that. And apologies for being behind on some of these comments. Zane, what better, what better to bounce back than a Manchester derby? Is the timing good? Is the Manchester derby timing good? And I got an agent backstage I'm gonna bring forwards real shortly. I'm gonna get through these comments real quick. But is the timing good? I'm gonna ask this agent whether the timing is good. Let me start this comment. Zane, hella pause on that. I hear it. Hello, Vader Royale in the building. I see you. Get Josep Guardiola his healthy players and he'll cook. Girl arcade, I'm with you. We know what Pep does with not the greatest ingredients, but some ingredients. Not the most world-renowned best cooking appliances, but just things that work. Get him some things to work. And he'll cook. I'm with you. Royale. No good times for Pep. Gone, Diola? Oh, you're wild. You wish Pep was leaving. You absolutely wish. Nah, you can say ovaries, bro. You're good. Thank you, Girl RK. I just think, you know what? When we have the conversation, like you go all out. Why it doesn't always necessarily need to be a male reference. You know what I mean? Women play sports, right? So I'm gonna keep it at that. I'm glad no one took offense to that. Royale, Pep out, as some say. Those that are saying it, I'm not lying to you. Those that are saying Pep out, I think I might start blocking them. I think I might block them, or I might mute them. And no, you know what? No, they're entitled to that point of view. They want to say Pep out, sure. They can have that point of view. It's all good. Royale, not terribly upset with a 2-0 loss because of the performance standards. I'm not terribly upset either. What I saw in terms of positional play, I thought we were a little too nonchalant, a little too slow with some of the buildup, some of the possession. Again, I keep asking Pep, reply to my email. Hit me up in the DMs. Like, I'll head over, I'll cross the pond, we'll have the conversation. There's a few things. You know how sometimes you can look at something, even when you've just done it on your own for so long, right? You've maybe lived in a certain room, or you style things, or you put some things together. You sometimes don't necessarily see the efficiencies on how you might change it. Pep, I got some ideas for you. Accept it. Yo, Moore's in the building. Big up, B. Listen, I need the big up. I need it right now. I need the big up. These are difficult times. And you know what? The psyop, right? The psychological warfare that's happening right now. And everybody's falling for it. 1 in 10. 1 in 10, right? Okay, 1 in 10 sounds bad. 1 win in 10. We're not expecting to go perfect. We're not expecting to just have smooth runs, but we're 4 losses in the Prem. 4 losses in the Prem, and we still sit at 4th. Is that correct? Let me look at the standings. Yeah, 4 losses, 8 wins, 2 draws, and the 8 wins are similar to Arsenal, similar to Chelsea. All right, we got 8 wins, 2 draws, 4 losses. The 4 losses is where it hurts. This 1-4 stuff, rivals speak on it. Obviously, you need to make it seem huge and terrible. And yes, it's a poor run. It is a poor run. But when it comes down to the league, that's where we need to fix up, and we can fix up in this derby 100%. Let me see what my man Martin, Arsenal Martin's in the building. He goes, now you got to deal with fighting your own fan base. No, Martin, that's the one thing. Listen, I don't. I will not be on a panel. I will not be on a. Let me take that back. I'll be on a panel because of the conversation, but you will not see me in like Twitter X. You will not see me on IG. You won't see me in YouTube comments being like battling with my own fan base. Nah. Have that opinion. Cool. I'm not fighting it. I'm on a panel. We'll have the convo because obviously person to person, we can do that. But it's wild, Martin. It's wild. You gotta, we'll have to link up and talk, because if you've had to fight, Martin, please don't take this as disrespect. But for the success that we've had, I'm so surprised that it's gotten here so quickly with regards to the fan reaction, with regards to the volatility, the venomness. Like, I don't get it. I don't get it. It's crazy. It's crazy. Appreciate it. Big up, my guy. True City fan in the building. You know what it is. Pep out. LOL. I hear it. The jokes are wild. Those that are the new accounts, right? The not so many followers and all that kind of stuff that want to push that Pep out. Fan base aren't happy with Pep. They want him out. All different ideas. Yeah. We'll see all that. Royale also goes, if you keep losing, I might be Pep in as op myself, keep the losing streak going. Listen, that's all calm. Ops saying keep Pep in, you're jokers. We don't believe you. There's no way Ops want us to keep Pep. You guys were just crying about Pep signing the contract extension not too long ago. And if you believe the serial winner in Pep is going to accept this again, accept any type of this next season, you're crazy. True City fan. Pep should play Jacob Wright and Nunez in midfield to get legs in there, but he is so biased. That's a convo about who he can play in the midfield, whether he's biased or not. I don't know if I can go so far as to say that he's biased. Let me bring the agents into the mix, because these are some great combos. I started this one. I'm going to bring it back. But I got 2 agents. And you know what we do on CIA, right? They get their own proper intros. They get their own intros. I don't need to say it. I don't need to big them up. I'm going to just show it. You saw that first agent. I'm going to bring him to the mix as well as this other agent, so you know what it is. 2 heavy hitters, CIA agents in the field, dealing with you ops, and unfortunately having to deal with some of you blues. I can't believe it. We've been giving the information out to you blues to just be better prepared how to deal with these ops, how to deal with some of these agendas. And now we find that we've got to deal with these agendas with you guys. We got to give the agendas to some of you blues to deal with. Let me bring in both agents. My man Kim in the building, and Professor in the building. Good to have you guys on the show.
Good to be here, as always.
Thank you. Always great to have you, Professor. I know you tackling a lot of things these days. Kim as well. I want to ask.
Yeah. Kim, how you doing, man?
I'm doing good. Happy as always, because I've decided not to let the losses get the best of me.
We've lost too many. I'm impressed. We've lost too many. I'm impressed now. I don't know.
No, I'm looking at it. The fact is that I'm looking at it as the league is gone. I'm not expecting too much from the league, except as long as we get top 4th, I'm okay with that. I know that we will get through to get to the qualities of the Champions League. And I do believe when our next game is in January, I think that we will pretty much have a full fit squad or close to a full fit squad. So that's when I think that we will start to truly come back. But I'm looking at Arsenal and Chelsea. Chelsea's going to have a few blips and bloops here and there coming the new year, and Arsenal has not really been that impressive. They have patches where they're really good, and then they fall off a little bit, and then they have patches where they're really good.
Yeah,
And Liverpool,
Liverpool.
We'll see.
We'll get to talking talking about the odds today in particular. I think we got to focus on ourselves. We got to focus on that Juventus performance. We also have to look ahead and see what we're going to do versus United and who's going to be available, who's going to be able to play. I got another agent backstage that I'm going to bring forward. He's actually in the comments. But Kim, before I do that, I want to ask you: Do you agree with this comment from True City fan that Pep has been a little too biased with who he's selected to play and who he hasn't quite given a shot during our difficult time?
No, I just think that he's just sticking to his guns and his principles. He's just being very stubborn, I guess you can say. And I think that he has become a little bit lost in his own head right now, and he's too scared of trying new things or playing more of using more of our academy players. It's just I think just there's a lot of things going on in his head that he's not able to figure out himself right now. Or I should say that he needs to get out of his own head for a little bit to see things from a clear view again.
Let me get to these two comments and then I'll bring the next agent to the stage. So the girl RK in the building, she goes, regarding our fickleness as fans, Pep told us that what we were doing was exceptional and we will have time of falling behind. He did. And you know what? That warning or that reality was dismissed or ignored by many. There's no remaining at the top forever. There's also no, well, if you're not remaining at the top, that you're expected to be second, or not remaining at the top, that you're expected to be third. Like how you have to reinvest, how you have to maintain happens differently. I think I'm seeing a lot of panic, unfortunately, from some of the fan base. And I think it's almost like they don't believe that there will be a comeback to good form and strong performances. Let me also, more in the building, he goes, football is a sport of mistakes. I'm doing a lot of mistakes. Pep makes mistakes. Players doing mistakes. Coaching staff makes mistakes, and board doing mistakes. How to reduce and fix it, time will tell. That's an absolutely great point. No one expects perfection. If they do, they're always going to be disappointed because it's not a perfect world. It's not a perfect sport. And again, these players, you can see that it's actually a case of a perfect storm. It's a perfect storm of injuries. It's a perfect storm of aged players. It's a perfect storm of not investing. It's a perfect storm of maybe psychologically, mentally being satisfied with the run of successes over the years. There's a lot of factors, and I don't like to do the whole binary, it's this or that. It's this or it's that as to why we're here. There's so many other factors, and it's unprecedented. So for a board, for a staff that have made their mistakes or maybe overvalued or underestimated, however you want to look at it, and to be here where maybe I'm calmer than most is because I'm sure they've recognized mistake and they're gonna write. Let me bring this next agent into the mix before I also get these other comments. Good looking out, everybody in the building. Please hit the like button if you haven't already. This next agent, I'm just gonna do this plain and simple. You'll see who. So I gave him his agent name. This is his agent name, but you guys know him as True City fan Patrick in the building. How you doing, man?
I'm good, man. How you doing?
I'm all right. Good to hear from you. How you been?
Big up to the panel, man. Big up to everybody. Kim, Gimbo, and big up to Hamza. I'm obviously due to do a video, and I'm gonna do one soon.
Okay.
I was just listening to people. I've been watching people a lot. It's just quite funny that people are now opening their eyes, like the happy clappers are now telling us that, oh, it's time to look at things. Yet I remember me and Kimbo sat down in a video and we said this after Ipswich and after Southampton that this looks scary. This looks a bit iffy. I don't know if you were there in the video. I think you joined us at the end. We said this doesn't look normal, and we said this might go dark. And somehow that time, a lot of people were like, no, it's not true. This is not. But it was going dark. And the bad thing about this is, look, at the end of the day, we know Pep Guardiola is stubborn. There's an article that has been written about him by a guy who writes his books. He just, not an article, he just wrote a few pages saying, this man from his mind is so stubborn. Yes, he succeeded, but sometimes the solution is right there, but he won't pick up this easy solution. He will try to prove people wrong by playing his own style, which is true. He did it at City, but when he came to City and his style wasn't working, guess what he did? He went and got younger players because he had Sanya, he had Kolarov, who was going over a certain age. We had people like Demachelis, who was also getting very old at that time, and they couldn't play the football. He had to go get people who suit, but still, the only thing I am not with him, that's why I keep saying, when things go bad like this, we know what the issue is. This City team is not a complete disaster. The disaster is known. It's so easy to pinpoint. I know a lot of people say you can't pinpoint it. First of all, number one, Walker is either finished or out of form. And it was 2 seasons ago. And you know what the funny thing is? Walker was finished during the treble season. During the treble season, Walker was benched because he was making so many mistakes. And guess what happened? City went on an unbeaten run in the Champions League. They conceded the less goals. So Walker's time was done. But the thing is...
No, but...
No, let me just finish it.
I'll let you finish.
Walker's time was done. But at the end of the day, there was that famous dinner where they went and had the dinner. And then they made him stay. Look, in all fairness, they were panicking. But I think that's the lack of investment you just pointed out, that for a team to stay at the top, there was a relaxation in this team. Because let's be honest, even during the treble season, right? As good as City were solid in certain aspects, even with Rodri in the team, sometimes we'll be like, we got lucky there. You know what I mean? Like teams would rip us apart and they would just miss and we're getting lucky. And obviously having the 4 defenders in the back was what kept us solid. But you could still see that this team, even Rodri himself, is tired of carrying that midfield. There just has to be a younger midfielder. Obviously, Foden came the other one, but there's always, somebody has to be a box-to-box next to Rodri. Obviously, enter Kovacic, who is slow, but at least he could hold his own with Rodri. So the issue I'm saying is, Pep, I think, is too stubborn. And he did it in that season where we got slapped in the UCL against Lyon, where he played Fernandinho, who was 34 years old, with Garcia, and left Otamendi and Stones on the bench just to prove a point that this guy is...
No, but this is when sometimes the how it's structured or how it's phrased is why I challenge back, because I look forward to when you do your video and we get Gunnar Loring as well, because I feel like there is the assessment of form. There is the, okay, here's what I expect of the opposition, and I'm making my choice on who I want to be my 11 or how I'm going to attack. So obviously we see the mistakes of what we've done in previous Champions Leagues, but then we also, and which I actually absolutely hate, but then there's also the crashing on players for not scoring some tap-ins or making some defensive mistakes, right? But all those things kind of play into why we don't get the results that we want. The stubbornness that you point out is like, I think it's, and Kim mentioned it, it's like that belief or that commitment in terms of an approach or philosophy. And I think Pep makes his decisions on who's going to be his 11 to play, not because he's like, I don't like him, or this is my way or the highway, but it's like, for the amount of winning that he does, it's like the information that I have at this time is what I'm going to do. We can remember our Champions League versus Chelsea, and I see freaking Latimus Prime just showing up. We can look at what happened in that in terms of Pep being, you know what, Tuchel and his approach. Possession is not going to be so much of a key, so I don't feel so threatened with regards to what Chelsea may do. I'm going to pretty much dominate the ball. I think I can have a midfield without a defensive midfielder. And I can have an extra attacker in Gunnigan, and I also got Sterling, who can give me that opportunity and attacking. So it's like information in the time and how he makes the decision, not so much like, nah, I don't care what everything else is telling me. I don't care whether this player is out of form or in form. This is what I'm going to do. I think Pep is getting really, really mislabeled right now. When you talk about throwing in some of these youngsters, you see how our fan base are talking about Rico Lewis. Rico's 20 years old. I know they kind of treat him like he's been here forever just because he's played in previous seasons. He scored in the Champions League.
But you have to look at what he's doing with Rico, because first of all, I can tell
he
you
played Rico at right back and they don't like it.
I'm not even a manager, but I can tell you that the reason why Lewis looked great was always tucking into Rodri. Rodri was making, even John Stones, his performances, I get people were hyping John Stones. It's Rodri.
I know, but are you
is
saying with no Rodri we don't play Rico then?
Yeah. So look. This is what I've been thinking. I was like, I get what's going on, but the thing is, even Klopp, when Klopp was desperate, is it last season when he saw, oh my God, I am desperate. He threw in the youngsters, and the youngsters, remember the CDM he had. He put the CDM next to McAllister. He's like, oh, McAllister, you're too slow. You're getting rinsed here. Let me put a young Nyoni. His name was Nyoni next to you. Guess what? Nyoni was doing the dirty work. Do you know what's bad about this? It's the fact that Nunes is a box-to-box midfielder, and if what's his name, Gundogan, is failing to sweep up, yet even in this game when Nunes came in, right, I saw him run and stop a counter. Something that Gundogan was failing to finish. Because I don't blame Gundogan. Gundogan, age is with him. Like Gundogan has given us so much for me to point at him.
Yeah.
But the thing is, if you give Gundogan legs, because he made an example, Pep, and you can see how stubborn he is. Do you remember the example he made? He's like, oh, well, Modric was 36 years old when they won the Champions League. That's the example.
But I got to bring up this comment, Patrick. I got to bring up this comment. And the girl RK is on to you. She's on to you because the way you were so balanced, so respectful in terms of how you talked about Gundogan, she's disappointed in you. She's disappointed. You can't handle the heat. I've seen she's noticed how you've been talking about Walker. You give some kindness to Gundogan. You don't blame him.
Walker,
but you got Walker in a different category. You got to address this. You got to address
it. You know the thing about me is, it's not like it's the first time. And this is the funny thing is, I have my own video evidence to just bring out. I said it. And Kimbo was with me in those videos because I talked about Ipswich. I said we were lucky, and we were discussing with Kimbo that, oh, Ipswich, we were lucky. Ipswich, and you know what? I pointed out this bit. I was like, in those first games, wasn't anybody scared that we were conceding in seconds the first 5 minutes?
Yeah,
and teams were just ripping us apart. And the
fact of course,
teams didn't finish us off. That was how we were lucky. Teams didn't finish us off.
Yeah.
And people were like, "Oh, we have Kovacic." I said, "I don't think Kovacic is gonna work." And then me and Kimbo once agreed and said Kovacic and Gundogan are too slow to have as a combo midfield. And people told us, "No, they're not slow. You're being biased. They are slow." And you can tell. It's not like it's you have to be a professional. All I'm saying is, okay, if you insist on playing Gundogan, Tell Nunes or Jacob Wright, who are 20 and 25 years old, sit next to Gundogan, do the dirty work. That's what Nunes did. Because in Wolves, Ruben Neves, remember Ruben Neves, who I admired, who I said Ruben Neves is the Gundogan replacement because they're so similar. Slow on the ball, but easily can control a game, and he's very dangerous.
I think guess what? Protecting him.
Yeah, but guess what the manager did? He's like, Nunes, you get next to Ruben Neves. And Nunes was always next to Ruben Neves, and he was also next to that other guy. I forgot his name. He was like 33 years old. So do you know what I'm trying to say?
No, I hear what you're trying to say.
I know he's a youngster. Why are you insisting on playing a 5 foot minus youngster who is not physically good? Why there's one who is more taller than him, more physical than him in Jacob Wright, and say, if that's the case, why don't you just play Jacob Wright? I'll even be more happy for us to lose. Why Jacob Wright is in the team?
No, don't. No, actually, I'm not letting you get away with this. Because I've heard this from a few fans. I'm okay if we were to take losses with other players playing on that pitch. That is not true. Because you guys, everyone everyone crashes it on the errors made, whether it's young and old, because we've all seen it. We've all seen the talk of Brand when he wasn't really doing his thing. We all saw on how we would have spoken about even veteran players in Cancelo when he was here, right? Zinchenko, like a young player is going to get crashed on as well. And I think Pep is honestly looking on the training pitch and he's making the decision. I'm not going to put an O'Reilly out here. Yeah, he got a run early in the season, and I see the other agent backstage. I'm going to bring you forward. I think honestly think he's trying to protect. Like I'm seeing so much venom right now, and I want to introduce Professor Hamza. I know he's dealing with these rivals in these spaces, but Professor, can you speak on the available players that we do have, and Pep, and what you think might be Pep's decision on why he's choosing to play some and not others?
Like, the thing is, a lot of City fans are saying that things like, why not play youngsters? You can't play youngsters. They'll get smoked. They'll get smoked. That literally no experience, they'll get beaten. Lack of experience is one of the biggest causes of you just get beat. You need one or two. Youngsters doesn't solve this situation. Nick O'Reilly coming midfield, he will just get walked all over, and then it will affect his confidence. Pep knows he can't play this youngster and utilize them now, because you bring their confidence slowly. Otherwise, imagine an 18-year-old coming into play in midfield.
Yeah.
And then I know you want to give them a chance, but not now. Not when the confidence is low.
Oh, so Lewis can play in midfield with a slow Gundogan, and Lewis is poorly physical.
Because the thing is, Patrick, you can't play Nick O'Reilly. I'm telling you now, you will not play Nick O'Reilly.
No. I'm saying, what if? The thing is, I have seen this before. I saw it with Klopp. Klopp went and got a defensive midfielder from the academy to play next to McAllister, and they won games. No, but the thing is, I'm telling. Okay. Can I ask you something? Why don't you play Nunes, who's a box-to-box, next to Gundogan to help him out with flashing? Why?
He's not disciplined enough. That's the problem.
Man, Gundogan is losing balls, Bernardo Silva, and they're getting countered. So what's the worst?
Gundogan's not playing that bad, but it's not Gundogan's fault. And I believe this all comes down to exactly. Listen, nothing will change. Nothing will change until January. I'm telling you now. I told you guys before.
But can I tell you something? I have a feeling that they won't even sign on January. I think this is just...
No. Patrick, mark my words. Patrick, no more comfortable. You know when Martin and all that stuff are saying, you'll be lucky to get 2? we know they're getting 2. You think, Patrick, Pep got... Just think about it. Pep Guardiola, I said, Veto, I told this lot. Pep Guardiola, let me give you just a brief introduction so you understand.
Before you make that point, I'm just going to bring this agent to the stage. Let me show him. And I know he's been fighting, and I don't know how respectful he's been on the players currently at the club, but I know he's fighting with these rivals. Let me bring Adam into the mix. Hey, Adam. How's your audio?
Welcome,
Adam. We can't hear you if you're speaking.
Yeah, I'm here. What are you saying, you guys? You good?
Yeah, large up. Professor was just going to talk about potential signings and
that's what I want. Patrick, remember I called you out. I said it. First, Pep has been humbled this season a bit. Because you know what? Not humbled for him, for his ego. His ego is above anyone else. Yeah? He's a winner. I will never criticize him for anything.
But Hamza, you keep saying... Hamza, you keep saying that, but Pep is part of the issue.
Let him finish it.
Let me say one thing.
We'll deal with Pep after.
As a player, he grew up in Barcelona and his football club. There's a famous photo of Terry Venables being lifted up, winning La Liga, and Pep is looking at him like that. Have you seen that photo?
Mm-hmm.
Have you seen that photo, guys?
Mm-hmm.
That photo is historic. As a ball boy, he sees
the influence.
Winning La Liga.
Yeah.
He dreams that I must do the same. He comes into Barcelona and he wins 4 La Liga in a row. 90, 91, 92, 93. Winning becomes normal to him. He's winning. He becomes a champion in Spain 4 years in a row. He gets respected in Spain. In between that, he wins the European Cup.
Hit the like button. You're getting some history from Professor right now.
Yeah,
Hit the like
look
button.
at this. He then not only that, Patrick, his standards is elevated because he plays with the greatest players. He's playing with Laudrup, one of the greatest football players ever. Stoichkov, one of the greatest, is a Ballon d'Or winner. Romario, one of the greatest strikers. R9 comes in next to his club. He wins with him a La Liga. And he wins. Look at this standard. He then sees Rivaldo, Luis. He plays with the greatest players.
And Professor.
We're talking about the world legends.
Yeah. And Professor, what I want to tie this back to is with that type of history, with that type of experience, he won't settle for anything less right now. So when you talk about the transfer window and why some don't want to listen, what has you confident with what he's going to do?
I am 100%. Patrick, I am 100%. Patrick, let me tell you, he won 6 out of 7 titles. Patrick, 4 in a row. Have you seen Pep after winning?
Hamza, can I ask you a question?
One second. After winning 4 in a row, some managers are like, "Yo, I've won. I don't care." Ferguson won in 3. He didn't care. He came 3rd, 2nd, and 2nd after that. 3rd, 2nd, and 2nd. Yeah, he in his half a season. Yeah, he's not even done halfway. Pep is upset, rattled. You think Pep will continue staying on that level? You think he trusts the players? He knows the problem. He can't say the problem. Patrick. We are signing.
We have to. There's a level protecting these players, protecting the club, and we know.
Wait, I want to ask Hamza this question.
Yep, go
Hamza,
ahead.
you keep going on, but let me ask you this question. Please answer it. Is Pep or is Pep not part of the issue? This man, I'm not. Look, I love Pep to bits.
Oh, here we
But
go.
No, Veta. I love Pep. Yeah, and Patrick will understand where I'm coming from. Look, yes, I 100% blame the board. That 100% I accept. But Pep is part of the issue. And why I say he's part of the issue, the small squad is the issue as well. And the matter of where the board gave him an offer when Alvarez left to get that kid from Celtic. What did he say? No. So Hamza, you tell me, you keep going on about this, but
you think one player
Pep
makes
is
Adam? Come on, man.
Why I say that? Look, as much as I love Pep and everything, Pep is part of the issue of the greater issue.
No, hold on. This is why we're not going to get circular. Of course, there's blame for everywhere. There's blame on the board. There's blame on Pep with regards to some of the instructions, some of the tactics he's given to these players, some of the 11 that he selected. There's blame on the players' performances with regards to how they've defended, how they've communicated on that pitch, how they've put in effort in terms of pressing, running back. We've seen it from many. And then there's also, in my opinion, there's also blame to fall on large members of the fan base as well that don't seem to have the mettle right now, that don't seem to also want to encourage these players to fight through this form. So blame goes everywhere. I think Pep with regards to this small squad stuff is like, listen, he had, or did we agree or disagree that it was a small squad during the trouble season? Obviously, we're lesser than we were then, right? That trouble squad was larger than what we have now. But I don't believe that Pep wanted anything less than the trouble squad. We've got bodies that aren't available.
I'm not denying that. I'm not denying that. But what I'm saying to you,
hold on.
What my issue is,
one second. Let me hear what Kim had to say. 1 second.
No, I think that the key thing here that people keep forgetting is that when the season started and everybody was fit and going, we were actually doing a lot better. And the one thing, nobody was asking we should have signed a bunch of these players, but nobody could foresee that we would have this many injuries.
That's what I'm
out
talking
for
about.
this long of a time, and especially expecting Rodri. I think that was the one thing that everybody really wanted was a Rodri backup.
Kim,
That
I'm
was
I'm
the
gonna
one thing.
address 100%. I'm gonna address that, and then I'm gonna give it back to Adam because I know when to speak.
I want to address that question, that answer. That's I think Kim, one thing you said, no one expected it.
Yeah.
Kim, human beings are not expected to work
Just-
tirelessly. Can you work 4 years in a row, 3 years without any leave? A single day off, or 2 days off, or 3 days off. You mentally be drained. In sports medicine, it's well known. The biggest factor of injury is fatigue.
Mm-hmm.
And let me repeat, fatigue, tiredness can make you predispose you to get an injury. Yeah. To me, Rodri, there were red flags. He called for help. I need to be subbed. And I tell you what, Veto, what I found is very dangerous. And we have to accept, because I told Martin about this. I've used the word risk assessment. When you go to a season, you assess the risks.
Yeah.
You assess the risk
Our
very
biggest
carefully.
risk was at 6. Yeah.
Did they assess the risk carefully? I don't believe they assessed the risk, because if I'm me, who's a non-footballing man, yeah, I'm not just a fan. I was telling Patrick, I was saying, John Stones is playing 16 games a season.
Yeah.
He's getting injured a lot.
Yeah, his availability
is getting injured a lot. There were red flags there.
Yeah.
So you could see Walker's getting old. Walker's making mistakes. He made mistakes for England. You see this thing. I said, you must get a defender. You must prepare.
Well,
it's your 4th season. You've been doing 70 games.
Professor, let me
And
say
then Rodri said, I'm high. It's not unexpected. Rodri was not gonna. There was no way I believe Rodri was gonna do 4 seasons as a defensive midfielder, running up and down and not even get hamstring there.
No,
It's
of course not.
possible.
But here's the thing. Here's the thing. And because I've heard Adam speak about this for a while, and I'm so glad that we're all able to be on the panel. We're able to have the conversation. Those of you in the chat, thank you so much. You're a part of the show. Put your comments on screen so that it can be read, not said out loud, not to interrupt the agent speaking. But this is what I want to talk about, this small squad stuff. Because healthy, we have Holland, no backup. I hear you. Okay. At left wing, we got Grealish, we got Doku. At right wing, we got Bernardo, and we got Savinho. Centrally, we would have KDB. We would have, oh, you know what? Actually, I'm forgetting. On the wing, let's erase that. We would have Savinho, and we'd have Oscar Bob. And Oscar Bob would probably flirt between that and 9 or false 9. Okay. We got Bernardo, Foden, KDB, Nunez, Gundogan, Rodri, healthy. That's 6 players in the midfield. 6 players in the midfield. Yeah. And I spoke about the 2 options we had at wing. I talked about Holland, yes, solely, and I talked about the 2 options we would have on the opposite wing. Left and right wing, we had 2 options. Central midfield, or in the midfield, we would have 6 players to choose from. Striker, we would have 1. The back line, we'd have Ake, Akanji, Gavardio, Diaz, Stones, Walker, Rico Lewis. 7 players. So when rivals are talking about, oh, you guys should have seen this, or you should have foreseen this, look at your small squad. What small squad? Yeah, I just talked about 7 options at defense.
Yeah, but do you remember, Veda, I don't get
that's a wrong mistake.
Why you flexing this, Veda? Do you remember when I got attacked last season, when I told people that stop worshiping KDB? I was like, stop at this point in time.
Stop washing.
No. I was trying to say that stop looking at KDB as your answer. I was like, I know he is KDB
every year.
The best. Yeah, I was like, but the guy is 34 years old and he keeps getting injured
every year.
Yeah, I was like, why doesn't Man City say, okay, KDB is here, but go get Verts, go get somebody else who's creative? Because I'm telling you, I said it before, Phil Foden is never going to be KDB or David Silva. It's not his football. That's not his football. He's a different number 10. It's good to have him. But what you're flexing is what Liverpool are flexing. You're flexing odd legs. I knew it when we bought
No,
Kovacic. I was happy, but do you remember? Wait. Do you
I'm
remember what I said
Patrick.
about
hold
Patrick.
on. No.
Patrick, you
One
know what's funny?
No,
I
Adam,
said,
Adam, one
Go ahead.
second. No, I'm addressing the small squad talk. If you want to talk about availability, if you want to talk about who's going to be able to play every game, that's a different conversation. But the small squad, that's nonsense.
Yeah, but you're saying
we don't have a small squad.
but the thing is, it's as if. But are you saying it with chest saying that squad? If you sit down as a board, none of you, because I said it. I said that I remember I was saying Frimpong has to come to City or a 4-back. I said that we need 2 4-backs, a left back. I remember I was saying Robinson has to come in, and we can't be playing Josko because I see Josko as a replacement for John Stones. It's just, if you looked at the age, you could have told from the beginning that even when Kovacic came, I think I told you that I love Kovacic, but we brought him at the wrong age. But he's here to just fill in the. We said he was here to just fill in a gap.
Patrick, I said
somebody else.
Patrick, I said the exact same thing that you just said to Professor Hamza. I said to Professor Hamza, I spoke with him on WhatsApp. I said to him, yes, it's all great bringing Gundo for the sentimental value. Yeah. But I said to Professor Hamza, logically and common sense wise, it did not make sense. You've got Gundogan who's 34. You've got Kovacic who is 30. Like, make this make sense. You had, João Neves from Benfica who was available. Yes, I know, yes, he may have cost an expensive, but what would have made sense is you would have had him for what, 10, 15, or if not more years. The guy, how old is he? João Neves?
Adam, you're talking about João Neves would be expensive. Patrick's talking about Wirtz, who would
Down
be
level for
expensive.
60 million. He went for 60 million.
No, Veta, why I bring that up is because, look, yes, it's all great, yeah. Look, the only reason why we even went for Gundo was he was simply just, it was an opportunity. He was available, that's it. But if Gundogan wasn't available, we would have went into a season with Kovacic. So it was just the club just saw it. It's like, you know, it's like a little kid when you dangle a sweet in front of a kid. That's how it was. We saw that Gundogan was available, and we saw, he said, you know what? We were faffing around, like what I said. I said to Hamza as well on the space as well. We were faffing around, messing around with Declan Rice. We messed around with Jude Bellingham, and guess what? Nothing happened. And then what? We saw an opportunity.
No. This is the problem.
Because Veta, that is the truth. We were
Adam, you're
faffing
not gonna
around.
say we messed around. What are you talking
Veta,
about?
we were messing around.
We lost on Jude to Real Madrid. What do you mean messing around?
No, but listen, Veto.
Okay, but Veta,
Adam's trying to make it seem like we
can I ask you a question? No, Veta, no, Hamza, wait. Hamza, wait. Veta, let me ask you this question. The time that we wasted there, was it not beneficial to go look at other alternatives?
Give me
time
name.
that we wait. No, Hamza, wait.
Adam,
Veta, and another one is the time that we wasted on Declan Rice. Is it not better that we looked at others? So you're telling me there's only, what are these the only 2 defensive midfielders or midfielders in the world that are available? Jude Bellingham and Declan Rice.
So why are you acting like
is that the case? If that's the case,
why
then
are you acting like Bruno wasn't looked at? Why are you acting like there was other players on the list that we didn't pull the trigger on?
They looked at Bruno and were stingy over 10 million.
Yeah, Veta. That's what I find funny. Veta,
he also looks at what's Paqueta from West Ham too.
Veta, I find this funny, but no.
The remix. I don't like the remix to make it seem like the board.
Okay, Veta, this is another question. Do you think Bruno's worth 100 million?
No.
Why no?
He's not 100 million.
He's not 100 million player.
Adam, he's not 100. Adam, you would have paid 100 million for Bruno.
Why not?
Now we're desperate, so you're like,
Hamza, why not?
Value in it, but no, he's not.
I would never.
Hamza, you say that, but Hamza, you were never going. I said it to you many times. You were never going to get Bruno for less than 100 million. His release clause.
Adam,
so you either.
That's the release clause.
You can get 2. Listen, Adam. Bruno Guimaraes plays for Newcastle.
Okay.
Yeah, he doesn't play for Real Madrid. Neither has he won anything as a player.
Okay, Hamza, you say that, but we went and got Calvin Phillips for Leeds.
No,
Bruno's privilege. That's why Declan Rice went for 100.
Yeah, Manchester City. If you're paying 100 million, you're gonna get the Florian Wirtz. There, you see what they're gonna be world class. He's 21. causing all these numbers. That's the players I'm going to pay. The biggest mistake we made is we had fan base who were cheering for people like Savio as if he's Leroy Sané. Savio's a good player. You're rating a guy from Girona. Go and buy ready-made. You're losing Mahrez.
What about Jack Grealish? What about Jack Grealish?
And then you come out here and say, I expect Savio to score. Hold it, he played for Girona. How do you expect him to? This is different level. Then you go and sign, you lose players like that, top players like Leroy Sané, Mahrez. Did you think you upgraded by getting Doku? No chance. Did you upgrade by getting Savio? No chance. Let's ask yourself. Then you look at the Alvarez. You lose a striker. You don't get a replacement. How arrogant were you? Very arrogant. Who goes in a season with Haaland having played last season and he had a stress fracture on his foot. And you know we're going to play 70 games. And you know those games that we play, we hardly sub. People come and tell me Oscar Bob. People tell me Oscar Bob.
It's that was a useless thing.
They tell me. Yeah. People are, bro, what are you dreaming of? I feel sorry for Oscar Bob because the pressure you're putting on that boy is under huge pressure.
The thing is Ronaldinho.
Is a youngster that has lack of experience.
Hamza, the thing is Ronaldinho. The thing is Ronaldinho.
Come on. Oscar Bob is Ronaldo. Who's Oscar Bob? Oscar Bob is. I don't like. I love Oscar Bob, but you're putting him under pressure. You say Makati. Where's Makati now? When we signed Gundogan, we only signed him, Patrick. Why? It's because an opportunity came on a free transfer. We've been penny pinching.
If you look at how Oscar Bob played last season in the games that he played, he is ready and he is fit to go. Of course, not now because he's out injured. But to say that he's not a replacement, or in regards to Savinho and Leroy Sané, we got him from Schalke 04. That was almost in Bundesliga I think 1, and now they're in Bundesliga 2. He was no amazing player, but Pep made him into what he was before he went over to Bayern. And the reason he went to Bayern was because that gave him a much bigger chance to be able to play in the German national team.
What can I rebuttal that statement? Leroy Sané, he was already senior for Schalke. I think he had scored 10, 15 goals in Bundesliga.
Yeah,
he died for Madrid. He was
rated the best youngster in German football. One of the best youngsters coming up across all. Everyone knew Bayern wanted him. But ask yourself this. Yeah? When we go for these players like Savio, do Bayern Munich go for him? Do Real Madrid go for him? Do Real Madrid? Why are they not going for him? Why is Bayern Munich not going for him? Why is AC Milan not going for him? Why are the top clubs not going for him? Is that
we got to be careful.
No, it's true. We're putting these players under pressure. And then people complain.
I understand that, but Savinho was touted by some other
youngster. No, this is a problem.
Savinho was always supposed to come over to play in the first team. That was the deal from the very beginning.
This is what Hamza is saying. Penny pinching.
From Troy.
Kim, is he a City quality player?
Yeah, he is a City quality player. Absolutely, he is. He is a Pep player and a City quality player.
As a starter.
Hamza, I think you're being too hard on him.
I think the main reason that he is playing so much right now is because I believe it's more because of that has to do with the injuries that we have. I think under normal circumstances, or had it been last season, no, he would not be starting as much. He would be subbed on the same way as Doku was last season too.
Kim,
that's what Savinho would.
Who was Alvarez's replacement, Kim?
There was no replacement. They didn't want, and they were planning on using, and they were basically going to use Oscar Bob.
So imagine, Kim, just imagine the audacity. A guy who won the World Cup, a guy who was one of the best players in the World Cup, a guy who was 35
he wanted to leave.
A youngster.
But City never would. But you have to understand one important key in regards to Alvarez is that he wanted to go.
Yes.
And City and Pep will never say, no, you can't go. They're always going to say, you want to go? Okay, go ahead.
Keith, you say,
If you get the money, we will.
but
you
Keith,
should
you
get
say that,
20
but
to
Keith,
20
you say
to-
that, but did not Pep and City, were on their knees begging for Bernardo Silva to stay? So you're telling me they couldn't do the same thing for Alvarez?
Yeah, no,
Bernardo,
forget that.
No,
Because
No, I'm not saying no, but you can't. That's not. That's not.
How
You,
many
you
times?
can't use that as an argument.
No, Veta, why
Adam,
I'm saying
it's the
that is no,
CIA.
Veta, why I'm saying that is because look,
No, but you're not
you
saying
had
something
no,
accurate.
Veta, you had Bernardo Silva. How many times did he throw his toys out the pram and bitching and moaning? Sorry for my language here. Him throwing his toys out the pram.
And what happened to him?
And Pep and City begged him.
No.
So you're telling me
He said-
City can't
no,
do the
They
same thing?
tried. No,
There's no
they
begging.
did. They
There's no
tried. They
begging.
tried to make Alvarez stay. They did try to get him to stay, but he was set and he got the offer, and they got.
Let me
And
say this,
I
guys.
believe
Guys,
that with the
let me say
amount
Let me
that
just finish.
Atletico Madrid offered, they said, okay,
Kim,
we will take him for that.
Alvarez is a 35 GA. Yeah, 35 goals and assists. A star
Yeah.
for international country Argentina, world champions.
Yeah.
Deep what I'm saying, world champions, a senior player.
Professor,
Won
we
in
know
the
his
Champions
quality.
League.
Yeah.
Are you?
Yeah, but remember, but also again, remember when he
Hold on,
came
Tim.
from.
Let him make his point.
You're planning to get a young Oscar Bob who had scored against Newcastle, yeah, who had not running in games of lack of experience as to replace and give him a chance for a player who's a World Cup winner.
But hold on. Well, no, guys, hold on.
Where did we get Alvarez from?
Kim, I'm gonna do this. No, I gotta do this.
River
We're stopping
Plate.
right
Yeah.
there. We're stopping
Go
right there.
ahead.
Hold on.
Sorry.
CIA, we're stopping right there because again, in respect of time, but this is why it's interesting, right? The same way Professor wants to highlight and point out where Oscar Bob was coming from, the lack of playing time, the lack of experience. I'm then also hearing members of our fan base saying our board were wrong to let Cole Palmer go. When he wasn't getting that run of playing time, he wasn't showing to be consistent, but now that's another failure with regards to what the board have done. And I don't like Adam's movement with regards to how he's speaking with some of the decisions, because again, Bernardo wasn't begged to stay. Bernardo, there was no offer to match the value of what he's at for him to go. So that's why he remained at our club. But the offers weren't of his value. The reason why Alvarez went, Julian Alvarez, is because that value from Atletico Madrid was like, oh, damn, they're going to pay that money. Now, I agree, we did not replace him, but it's the same thinking in believing that Oscar Bob could play the role, and the same way some of the fan base also believe that Cole Palmer was wrong to go. So you got a board that believed that you had talent on the bench that could do it. So let's not talk about it was a mistake to let Cole Palmer go, and then also want to talk about it was a mistake to keep Oscar Bob, because it's the same rationale. It's the same thinking of quality within our EDS, not getting first team play to be able to have an impact. Now, I'm going to say it again. Thank you, everybody in the chat. Much love. We did not replace Julian Alvarez yet. He left this year. They did not have the direct replacement for him. But unfortunately, we've seen that at our club for a while. We've seen them let a Sané go and not directly replace him right away. We've seen a Sterling go, not replace him right away. We've seen a Mahrez go, not replace him right away. We saw, and the earliest is we saw David Silva leave, and we did not replace him.
Facts.
Okay?
Facts.
So the club...
Veta, but did you hear that your man refused?
They told us Foden is David Silva. They told us Kevin De Bruyne is Phil Foden, and that's a mistake. City fans have to stop doing this.
They're different players. We don't need to do the direct.
Those legends, man. Then you know when you start putting them on the pedestal to those legends, people compare them. When they have a bad game, people raise eyebrows and say, "You told me, yeah, Phil Foden was Kevin De Bruyne. How come you can't do what Kevin De Bruyne is doing?" Me, what I do is I say, Oscar Bob, you're a good player.
Yeah, Oscar Bob's
Take
Oscar
your
Bob.
time. You will get the time. I don't say Oscar Bob was Alvarez's replacement, because I'm saying Alvarez got 35 games. As soon as I say that, I'm putting him under pressure. If Oscar Bob was in this team, I guarantee we'll still have won 1 or 2 games in 10. It doesn't make a difference.
It's
This
not the
Egypt
attack. It's exactly, guys. At the
defense,
same time, it's not the
defense and
attack.
midfield was an issue. Kyle
Thank
Walker
you.
was old. He should have been replaced. John Stone is the liability costing us many games. You cannot keep paying $250 a week if a player plays for his international country every single game,
Yeah,
comes
but-
back
All right,
injured,
don't get me
and
started
he
on that one,
hurts Man
Professor.
City.
Don't get me
Nathan
started on
Ake-
players being injured, going straight into international play. Drives me crazy.
Exactly.
I'm going to
Nathan-
say this. Sorry.
But I think
Johnson-
the
Hold on,
main thing. No, the thing I think that I want to. The last thing I want to say is that the main reason that we're having these conversations and regarding and looking at all these old players and saying this and this about these players is it's because there have been so extremely many injuries. If we had had half the amount of injuries that we are having right now so far this season, we wouldn't be having so much of this conversation.
It's
that we
not
should
as
have
bad
replaced
as it
this,
would be.
this,
I
and
would
this.
agree. Kim, I would agree. Now,
I agree.
So I
As I say,
feel like we're overreacting into a certain way, or to a certain extent.
no, fair.
I
And
think.
unfortunately, True City fan had to drop. I want to say this because everybody in the chat, thank you for being a part of the show. Hopefully, you've hit that like button. We got to be careful with this mistake to keep players, mistake to let players go, because, and I want to bring up this comment from Dre P, because Dre P goes, never a mistake to keep Oscar Bob. Suppose he left and went and balled at another club. We'd be hearing the same thing on how they're doing the whole narrative with regards to Cole Palmer. I want to also point out, and I didn't want to interrupt the flow. My online crush here, always in the comments, always so supportive. My gal, Rose in the building. I did not forget, and I know I'm a little late to bring your comment up, but she goes, "Hey Vader, I'm heartbroken, but I'm still hopeful for City, and we will be there." Listen, I think we got an uphill battle.
We'll
I'm not
prevail.
counting us out. I'm looking at the league standings right now. Obviously, Liverpool at top with 35 points. We got Chelsea at 28, Arsenal at 28, and we're at 26. We've got 4 losses, 2 draws, and 8 wins. And Arsenal ahead of us by 2 points have 2 losses, 4 draws, and 8 wins. So listen, we need to fix up. And for the sake of time, we got this upcoming Manchester derby. I'm hoping to do another show. It won't be CIA, obviously. Maybe it'll be 115. But there's going to have to be a conversation, a preview going to the derby. I would agree to a man on this panel, everybody in the chat, as terrible as our form's been, I don't know if you guys spent some time and watched them play in Europa. We have to beat these guys. Pep can't lose twice to Amarin. Pep can't lose to this Manchester United. We've got to stop the skid. And it's not even we can't lose. I also say we can't draw. This is a derby. We need to win this game. We need to win this game. Please. No, unfortunately, I do have to wrap up. Please, every contact, Professor Hamza.
I was going to say what I was going to say, but you probably won't like it.
What are you going to say?
I was going to say what Rio said yesterday.
I was going to say, well, I'm going to draw.
Too uncomfortable.
I was going to say, Vader, don't be surprised if we draw or lose that game.
Here we go. All right.
Nah,
listen,
I don't think we're going to lose it.
There's going to be preview spaces. Obviously, Adam's going to be in there. Professor Hamza. There's going to be other shows as well. Please check out Professor Hamza's watch along. Definitely check in the spaces with regards to Adam, and obviously with Kim. He's in space as well as on YouTube. So everybody in the chat, thank you so very much. I appreciate you being a part of the show. I put your comments on screen when possible and in the flow. Marvin, good looking out. He goes, right back, left back, center back, and midfield are all problems, all happening at once. Yeah. The player's performance as well as injuries, available players to play. It's actually crazy. This is a wild one. Is Haaland tired? His body language has been off for a while. I think the form is kind of rickled down to everybody. It's not so. I've seen him chase down a few balls going down into the keeper trying to challenge. I've seen him get into very good positions. But I think it didn't go your way, and that type of reaction, I don't like seeing it myself. But to a man, that's what happens. He needs to see the ball go into the back of the net. And then we'll see these guys back in the form. Everybody, thank you so very much. Your comments, If you catch this on the replay, I will check out your comments as well, and I appreciate every like. I appreciate every sub. I'm Vader Games. Adam, Kim, Professor Hamza, True City fan. Their details are in the description. I'm Vader Games. This was CIA Intelligent Agendas. Don't miss the next show next week, same time. I'll catch everybody. Enjoy the outro.
Take care. Thanks. Bye.
All right. Bye.